Welcome to Toffee TV. It is my 3 talking points from Everton 4, Leicester City 0. It sounds really good to say. I apologise if Leicester City fans are watching it, but it sounds really good to say Everton 4, somebody 0. And it's Leicester City today, but a big win for the Toffees today. This was a game that was a potential banana skin. It was a 6-pointer. Leicester, but Leicester would have beat us today. There'd have been a 3-point gap, and even though I'm more than confident Everton would have finished way above Leicester anyway, it still would have made it difficult. And if they'd have won back-to-back away games, what does that do for their confidence for the rest of the season? So it was always a tricky game. Obviously, we lost 2 big players this week in Mangala and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So that threw a little bit of uncertainty, shall we say, into the mix, because Mangala, because both of them are starters, both of them have started the games, haven't they? They're our starting 11. So Mangala's been very good. For Everton, Dom is important. We know that. I know a lot of people will say that Betto should have been playing anyway because Dom hasn't scored enough. But Dom is still an important part of the squad. And I've said this before, Betto for me is a goal scorer. He's a lad who, if you create for him, he will score. In my opinion, he's a better finisher than Calvert-Lewin. Not a better footballer. I think Dom's technical ability is better, but we got the job done. He's got 2 big goals today. Beto made up for the core to get a goal. I thought he had a really strong game today. Worked hard, tired, of course, and that's what needing other players on the bench who the manager can trust as well. To sort of be able to rotate and get players off and keep the energy levels up. And also, for Illiman and Jai to keep adding to the goals. Don't think he played very well today, and Jai wasn't for the one to try and he worked his socks off. It just didn't really happen for him. But he's the one you're always looking for to create something, and I made up that even on a day like today where he wasn't at his best, or we didn't get the best out of him, probably a better way of saying it, he still ended up on the score sheet. And he put the cherry on the top of the cake with the 4th goal at the street end, didn't he? So made up for him. He's scoring goals and we've needed them. And it was a lovely afternoon at Goodison Park, cold but lovely. And obviously Everton have had an 8-goal swing as well on Leicester, as well as the points as well. So the 6-pointer, the proverbial 6-pointer, was done, and the 8-goal swing to boot as well. The first thing I want to talk about is a change in mentality, probably, yeah, it's mentality, isn't it? Mental attitude, there you go. It's mentality that David Moyes has brought. The manager's been here for 4 games. Everton have won 75% of them. As many as they had in the previous 19 under the previous manager. And that's incredible. It's incredible what he's done. But it isn't just winning games. You can win games. Last week we ground out, we defended superbly. We got a penalty, we scored it, and we defended superbly well. And we won the game, and it was a brilliant result down at Brighton. It was a brilliant result for us. But it's the home games where I've been impressed. It's the change in the tactics, it's how high the team are playing. It's the actual football that we're playing. We're passing it, moving it, creating chances. It isn't just a big hoof and hope for the best that we were playing under Sean Dyche. And what Moyes has done is give the players confidence, give the players belief in what they're doing. He'll want better players, we all do. We know that. Talent-wise, this team couldn't win a Premier League, couldn't win, get into Europe, probably. But I've said all season, and a lot of people agreed with me, some didn't, but fine. It's football, we all see it differently. Is that the team we had was better than the previous manager was showing. He'd lost his way. The team lost the way. But those players were always better. And what David Moyes has shown, quite simply, is that he's just clearly a better manager than Dyche, which, again, we've said many a time, he's a far superior manager. But even having that superior ability, you've got to get it out the players. And that's what he's doing right now. Now, can he keep it going? We'll wait and see. But right now, the mentality and the attitude of the players is fantastic. And it isn't working hard, because I think a lot of them, and I think Sean Dyche was good at drilling the players to work hard. I think they did under him. But that was the defensive side, and I'm working hard. I think the players did for Sean Dyche. I think he worked on that. He instilled a lot of that in. What David Moyes has got them doing is playing better football, a better mentality, as in going after the opposition. Going to Goodison now, again, it's just like what it was when David Moyes was here the first time. You know you're going after teams. Now, Everton won't win every game at home. Of course they won't. Villa was the case in point, wasn't it? His first home game. We had a right good go. We should have got something out the game. I think, again, you know, the stats tell you we should have got something out the game. We should have got something out the game. And I come out of that going, I've seen real improvements there tonight, even though we've lost the game. And we took it on against Spurs, and we've took it on again today. And that's what it's about. There's a mentality, there's a belief that you can attack and win. Not just, we've got to fight for our lives and just kick the ball anywhere and hope we don't concede a goal and we might get a corner. That mentality's been blitzed, absolutely blown away. And that's great, because when you sit in your seat at Goodison, you know they're going to try and win the game. They're going to go after the team and try and win the game. Like I said, we've got some difficult games coming up who will be far superior test than what we've had of late. We'll see how we do in them. But I think the manager, because David Moyes did this last time, with his previous Everton side, we had to go with everyone. And we beat all the top teams regularly at Goodison. We didn't do it away. That's a different argument. But so I'm loving that. And I'm loving seeing the players express themselves to be better than what they are. And the more confident they get because they're winning games, the better the performances will be. They'll be lucky in games because they're believing that things will go their way. And it means that everybody's got to be a little bit warier of us. And that's a much better place to watch football than sitting there petrified and worried and thinking, well, they score, we've got no chance, and hope we can get a corner or a free kick around the box. Awful, awful mentality, awful philosophy for me. But it's good that it's flipped and I'm enjoying it. And the fans seem to be enjoying it in the ground as well. So made up with that, made up to see the players with smiles on their face. The second thing I want to talk about is the transfer window. I just touched on it a little bit in the match reaction. But for you, as fans of Everton, if you're an Evertonian, if you're another fan, you don't need to answer this. But as Evertonians, does that change the focus of a centre forward today, Betto scoring, and knowing that Chimity's sort of 3 weeks away, knowing that Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't as bad, knowing that Brien probably isn't going back now because he's not far away, well, I say not far away, still probably 5 or 6 weeks away with the ankle, and Dom similar. Does that change what our focus is? Because I was thinking that Dom would be done for most of the season. That was what the first thoughts were, and they were really worried about that. And then Brien, they were thinking 10 to 12 weeks, but he's seen another specialist apparently, and it's healed really well, and it shouldn't be as long as, it should be sort of maybe 6 weeks. So if that's the case, and we're getting 2 back, and we'll have Chimity back in a few weeks, and Jai went up front at the end today, we've got Betto. Alcaraz, who's coming in, has also played a little bit off the front as well. Does that change your view in what we... Because me personally now, unless Everton are going to bring in sort of like a long-term striker, if it was an Evan Ferguson and they were buying him permanently, and I don't think that'll happen, I think he'll go off to West Ham or whatever, then I could understand it. 20-year-old, Dom's probably going to go. Brui's more than likely going to go back to Chelsea. Betto, we don't know, but we need... So I'd understand that. But if it's going to just try and grab someone for a few months, I'd say I wouldn't bother with that and waste wages. And certainly not sign someone on a short term, be like 18 months, someone like Danny Ings or something like that. I don't think I'd be touching that, because we get ourselves in we get ourselves back into the hole that we're trying to dig ourselves out of. So I'm just wondering, I think for me, I know they're interested in Roll, who plays for Roll, I think it is, you say his name, who plays in Freiburg. He's an interesting one, he's a midfield player. I'd like Bergstadt, who's playing at Mainz, and he's a striker and can play off the front. I think he's a really good player, and Everton could maybe look at doing something there. I think he's in Germany's squad as well now, the national squad. So I just wonder what they'll do. I'd love a winger. Me personally, I'd still go and try and get Neumann for his pace, but I understand if David Moyes thinks it's not, he's not going to make that much of an impression. I think he would, just because he's quick and he's direct, but there's other quick and direct play. So I just wonder what they're going to do now. another 2 players, I think, on top of Alcaraz, I think everyone would be quite happy with. I think the manager would be. Let's wait and see. Big 48 hours, but Everton can't shape the rest of the season. The need for it might have changed with the wins, but it shouldn't do, because you've got to look at the bigger picture. And overall, especially if you're going to buy a player in this window and you think he's good enough, that's the key. We've got 12 out of contract in the summer, so it sort of does a little bit of that now, doesn't it? So we'll see anyway, but it's a big 48 hours. And finally, we'll finish on a positive, and that's Betto. I'm absolutely made up for him. I'm made up he scored 2 today. This is his opportunity. He's wanted an opportunity to start for Everton. He's wanted to lead the line. He's wanted to be the one we look to get goals. We've brought him in, and he's not really been given a chance, really, a run of games. We've played him in a style that we just whack balls up to him. Technically, he's not amazing, and that's sort of shown him up. But if you can get players round him and you can feed balls into him to run onto, as he's proved today, we've done 2 today and he's put them both in the net. The other one he should have got an assist for, but he really should have just shot himself. If we can start doing that, I think he gets us goals. I think if we create chances for the lad, he will put the ball in the back of the net. So I'm absolutely made up for him today. And I hope that he takes the confidence from it. And who knows, listen, I don't know, between now and the end of the season, he might carve himself a different path at Everton. David Moyes might look at him and go, you know, if we can refine him a little bit, could actually be really useful for us, really good striker for us. Depends on who else comes in. But don't forget, like I've just said earlier when I was talking about the transfer window, Dominic Calvert-Lewin will probably move on in the summer. Brien is gone after have some 6 or 7 weeks when he comes back, playing well and scoring goals for Everton to part with 30 million or 25 million, whatever it is Chelsea want for him. So I imagine with his injury record, David Moyes will pass on that one. And I don't know, if he comes back and does really well, then maybe that's a conversation for then. And the manager might like the look of him. He is someone who can play right across the 3. But I just wonder if Beto has a really strong end to the season, whether the manager will go, no, you will be one of my 3 strikers I want. And obviously Everton will try and get a deal in. Another centre forward in the summer. They're looking at different ones. We'll see. And Beto could save his career. But if not, let's hope he has a big flurry to the end of the season and then gets a decent move in the summer. A lot of Italian clubs after him. I know Torino really like him. There's a couple of others. Roma were unsure. Atalanta have looked. Who knows? But I'm delighted for him today. He's deserved a go. And now's his opportunity. I'm sure David Moyes has said to him, you're our striker now, so you've got to go out and work your socks off in training, work the socks off on the pitch and go and get us goals and be the main man. And who knows what comes from that. You know, maybe if Dom had stayed fit, maybe if Breuer had stayed fit, maybe if Chimiti was fit, Betto would have been on the plane to Italy and playing in Serie A now. He's not going to go out the door or be amazed unless, I don't know, like I said, Everton ended up signing Evan Ferguson or something, I don't know, or signed a different striker, but I imagine he will be here for the rest of this season. It's up to him to go and prove to David Moyes and everybody else that he belongs at Everton and he should be given a chance. And he was delighted. I'm delighted for him. The fans singing his name, he was delighted. I think he really wants to do well for Everton. I think he really, really loves it here and wants to do well. And it's frustrated because he's not played well. You're in the team now, mate. You've got some big games coming up, so it's down to you. But today, I'm absolutely thrilled for him, and I give him man of the match, and I thought he had a really good game, so long may it continue. Right, I've waffled for long enough. Thank you to everyone who stuck with it. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and have an absolutely brilliant rest of the weekend. Up the Toffees. See you later.